If it like folks, live for the lounge, 37, live for the Howickermar. Fine to be here again. We'll have a look and see the normal kind of folk I'm sure I'll be looking in. It does vary a wee bit, nobody can look in every single weekend, but a lot of regulars, so we'll be looking forward to seeing a few folk back that are looking in. So this is 37, believe it or no, it's beginning to feel like Groundhog Day a little bit. I reckon if you've not seen the film, that'll be a strange sounding statement, but it's pretty much Groundhog Day, the movie. The boy wakens up and it's a repeat of the day afore, and this becomes a bit of a pain until he realises he can learn from his mistakes. And but anyway, that's the general idea. But as usual, it's a highlight of the week to be here playing with folks. So just the normal. Give us a shout, say hello, get in touch, hey conversations if you like. We've got a few things like fits in the box, and here's the box. My Persian box here, look, it fits that. So you might have a fair idea that it's not made of crystal. And once again, it's just going to be pure luck whether you get it right or no. So we'll be doing that throughout the evening, taking guests, playing a few tunes, not guests, guesses, sorry. Tongue's running a wall with me. Taking guesses on Fits in the Box. Shona's here, she's sitting there at the side on the computer, watching out all the messages and things coming in. She's not feeling great the day, actually. Well, she was feeling fine earlier, but just this day's worn on, she's just really not feeling up to performing the night. So she's here, but she's not going to perform, so I'll be doing it myself. So again, it's disappointing, having to listen to me, but I'll do my best to manfully keep going and make it as good an evening as possible. So, back to some music. I'm going to do a wee bit of an intro, and I've gotten into the vein of ABBA tonight, which might seem like a bit of a departure for me, but I've no idea why, but a couple of nights ago I had a tune started burling round my head, and it wasn't that I didn't get what it was, I did, but it kept going round and round my head, and I thought, I think I could maybe diddle up a version of that, and it's a tune called Arrival, which is for an ABBA album called Arrival, and I think they used to use it as introduction music before concerts. I've never been to an ABBA show, and I don't think I've even watched a live concert, but somebody might ken a bit more about it. You might tell me if I'm right or no. But it's an instrumental bit of music that was on the album. I think it was one or two that they had on their albums. Generally, it's a singing, it's the main thing, but Benny Andersson wrote this, and I think that appealed to me as a kid when I was in my early teens about it. When I heard it, it sounded to me quite Scottish. The keyboard sound to me had a touch of the bagpipes about it. I think that was for it was, and it had that kind of slight Scotch snap feel about it. Da-dum, ba-dum, that kind of feel. So I thought that sounds quite Scottish, but it appealed to me. But I liked the melody. So I'm going to play that for a start of the night. It's not inspired by Scottish music at all, but rather Swedish folk music. So there you go. I just sat down and had a go at this afternoon. So let's see how we go. ABBA used it as introduction music, so I think it's good enough for me as well tonight. So this is Arrival by Benny Andersson. just waiting for Frida and Anna Fried to come dancing in tight lycra. So anyway, a wee bit different for me. I got to look for some new stuff. So there we go. Now, I'll be doing all the interventions with hellos. So, Oklahoma, we've got Susan Hurst here, Shirley and John Fuchs way up the road, Lorelei Bach in Pennsylvania. I think they have stopped counting the election over there. Karen Fraser, she's in Lockdown in Glasgow. Joe and Pat Aitken for Windy Kirriemuir. It's not windy here actually, and you're just over the hill, but when I went Windy Kirriemuir. Gordon Calder for Whitney. Sally Day Butler for Florida. Frank and Lorraine Ribbons. They're making chutney, so we'll maybe have a visit them on. Come here with a jar. Elaine and George Mitchell at the back of Benahee. Tracy and Hugh Addlesey. Tommy Webster, possibly with Sonia, didn't I ken? You get one, you sometimes get the two of them, but Tommy would have like that's Shauna's uncle. We'll have to get him to do a guest spot remotely. He says he's got a vodka. He does a fantastic version of the Bonnie Moore hen, which would be good to hear sometime. He'll be mortified that we're even bringing this up, I'm sure. But I'm sure if we ply him with the right amount of vodka, he would be absolutely fine for that. So Tommy the singer, Tommy Webster, Anne Wyatt and Paul Gray, they're having haggis. Well, I like to hear that. Keep it in the Scottish tone there. It's a bit early for Burns night, but haggis is good any time of the year.
There was mention of Scottish fajitas, haggis, nips and tatties in a wrap, which sounds ace.
Was it? That sounds fine. That sounds fine. I like the sound of that, Paul. Because you can, haggis is not really Scottish. It came from France originally. That would horrify some folk. Anyway, Leah Rossville up in Bucky. We've got Kate and Jim Taylor at Garlogie. Jane Roberts in Philadelphia. Ken Jane, she plays the cello. Scylla Wood up in Banchory. And Ulla Koenig for Stockholm. Now, I wonder if she thinks of that arrival tune. We'll no doubt here presently, if she didn't miss it. So, the last couple of weeks I've been playing a lot of tunes by William Marshall. It's absolutely, without a doubt, one of the three most significant composers of Scottish fiddle music. There's Neil Gow, the father of Scottish fiddle music. There's James Scott Skinner, the Strathspey King, and William Marshall. He's got a title like that, but Robert Burns gave him the title the first composer of Strathspeys of the age. And I think that says it. He reckoned he was the best. So I'm not going to argue with that. I'm going to start with a set of his jigs. The first one's called Miss Macpherson Grant's jig, followed by Miss Gordon of Park, Miss Hannah of Elgin, and then finish with Miss Morrison of Bogney. That would be up beside Huntley, would it, sure? Bogney Braes. Right. just like the Skinner stuff or the Gow music or Peter Milne, there's lots of tunes that I come across that I didn't really ken that well. I've just spent about 3 or 4 days playing tunes in 2 flats, every single one of them. And it's probably why a lot of these tunes aren't ken that well, because they're quite demanding, quite tricky, but they're beautifully put together tunes, very elegant, a lot of natural fire in them, but very well constructed tunes. So there you go, William Marshall. Now, a few more hellos here. Hello, Margaret Kerr for Australia. Nice to see you. Mary McMurphy for California. Is it McMurphy or McMurphy for California? God almighty, we've got folk from all over the place. Alistair McDougall. He's not frugal. He's a fine guitar player though. It's Alistair who are at Hopewell, just the other side of Tarland. Oh, Alistair. Charlie and Rona up at the Doll's House in Tarland. John Perlmunder for Hawaii. This is amazing. Looking at this list. Sue Taylor for Orkney. She's got backache. Well, just lay off the dancing, lay back and hopefully enjoy the music. Isabel Lang for Ardguy. Marjorie and Tony Groundwater for Glen Rothes. Glen Rothes now. That is Scotland's most romantic part of the country, because that's where Shona and I started courting. So there you go, Fife. It's like, I don't care what you call it. Paris to the north. Martin Grace here at Huntley. Nice to see you, Martin Grace. Well, I can't see you, but you're there, so it's good to ken you're out there. Alison McDonald over in the Bay Area of San Francisco. Andrew Brandy for Lawrence Kirk, who just over the hill. Heather Morrison for Strachan. And Janice Holler for Ontario. So that is quite an amazing range of folk looking in. So nice to see you. But anyway, it's good to hear a few folk looking in. So before we play next tune. Fits in the box. See if I just open the lid a wee bit there. It's, well, Shona said, oh, watch what you're doing. I suspect there's nobody going to get it, but actually this is a functional item, okay, rather than ornamental. You could call it a tool, an implement for something, but obviously it has to be big enough to get in there, so fit is it? So just get involved, have a pop, see if one of you can get it right. Win a coconut. Got a bag of mouldy coconuts at the back of the house there that we never sent out. Jamie Bowers dice. Now this comes up about every single week, I think, dice. Lorelei Bach buttons, and Kate Taylor thinks paper clips. So these are all valid, good guesses. They're not right, mind you, but they're good guesses. So we'll keep going with that. Right, carry on. I'm going to play a slow air for you this time. I'm going to keep on with the William Marshall stuff, just because he wrote so much good stuff. I mean, one of these great fiddle composers for Scotland. You could do several recitals on each player's music without touching on anybody else's stuff. They wrote some brilliant tunes, and William Marshall, who was employed by the 4th and 5th Dukes of Gordon, he worked for them his entire working life, starting at the age of 12 as a door boy. So that was really opening the door for the butler, who was too high and mighty to open the door himself. But actually, as he worked through his life, he ended up moving up, and eventually he was the estate manager, pretty much. There was a different title for that, but he was basically running all of the Duke of Gordon's estates. So a very, very capable man, highly trusted. He was a kind of boy that could mix with the aristocracy, but the local cotter farmer down the road. He was well liked by Abdi. He was a notable athlete in his day. He was a notable dancer, was commented upon. He was into astronomy, which is the study of the heavens rather than the horoscope. Astronomy, mathematics, buildings and land surveying. He made what you call them, grandfather clocks. He worked out how to do it himself. He invented a water clock, which apparently was a great thing up in Fochabers. And he's also one of Scotland's greatest fiddle composers. So a remarkable man in his day. And I'm going to play one of his airs. This is called The Marchioness of Huntly's favourite. lovely tune. He wrote a lot of lovely tunes like that. And he was in friendly terms with a Italian violinist called Stabolini, who was friendly with the Gordon family, the Duke and the Duchess, and he would visit Gordon Castle up in Fochabers and play for them. And I heard a radio programme, or a recording of a radio programme that Hector McAndrew did in the 60s, and in his words, he thought there was absolutely no doubt that Stabolini had influenced Marshall's playing and his composition, and maybe this kind of high quality player had passed on some of that technique and style for forming tunes. So anyway, it's interesting. It's an interesting thought. I just like to think he was a bit of a genius, just a natural born genius, and had a great ear for music, which he certainly did. So there, anyway, Shona's waving her hand, she's wagging her hand at me. What have we got here? Right.
Guesses.
Ooh, box guesses.
A rattle first.
Yeah. So Shona's not feeling great, but she is able to issue instructions. Give it another rattle. Let's see. Okay. So it's not a crystal glass in there. It's something a little bit more robust. Okay. So Joe Aitken thinks bottle opener. Ian Murray, pencil sharpener. Lorelei Bach, small screwdriver. Mike Fraser, tea strainer or looking glass. Mary McMurtry, small bottle opener. John Fuchs, mini Denny Steens. That would be twa chuckies then, wouldn't it? Alison MacDonald, bottle opener. There's a bit of a theme here. Jim Taylor, mini screwdriver. Is that twa screwdrivers? Mini screwdrivers, yeah. Tommy Webster. Arrowhead from a Cherokee Chief. Well, that's a good one. That's quite thoughtful. Daria Muir, a mini teapot. Made out of stainless steel, because it would have been broken if it was made of china. Alan Taylor, a corkscrew. And Isabel Lang, a garlic press. So yeah, there's keen competition going on there, and not one of you is right so far. So think again. Let's see a look here now. Hello, Malcolm and Mary Duff. They're in Paisley. Ted Cremar down in Northumberland. Wait a minute. It's Ted's birthday. And it was also my Uncle Alec's birthday this week as well.
Alec and Ted were
So
shared.
Alec and Ted, you can sing along yourselves. I'll leave a space at the appropriate place. But Alec was 80 yesterday, so that's a big birthday. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, I used to be just a bairn running about, and he was a young man for us all the time gone. But anyway, all the best, Alec, for a happy birthday. So for Ted Cremar and Alec Reid, happy birthday. Most famous birthday this week for the two of them.
Well, do you know whose birthday it is on Tuesday?
Oh, right. Now, you did tell me, Shona says Fuzz birthday's on Tuesday. Billy Connolly?
There's somebody better than that.
Somebody
birthday
better
on
than
Tuesday.
Billy Connolly. Well, Billy's pretty
You
good.
should know this, because it's your father-in-law's birthday on Tuesday.
What?
It's Dad's birthday on Tuesday.
Oh, well,
That's
we'll
very
say,
good.
we'll do happy birthday for him next week.
Well, we can say happy birthday in advance.
Yeah, well, anyway, so Matt, happy birthday for Tuesday, but we'll give you happy birthday next week. We're a bit jammed up with birthdays this evening. So what else have we got here? Alan and Rona Taylor, Katinka Buxton, Catherine and Nikki up at the Aberdeen Arms, Sandy White, and Anne Faye Sweden. So we've a couple Faye Sweden there. I wonder if they thought of a bit of ABBA there. So anyway, let's move on. Right, now, I'm continuing with the William Marshall tunes, which I hope you're liking, but the next two tunes, which are both Marshall, are entitled Sir Walter Scott Baronet and Lowe's Hornpipe. Now, this just made me think I should do a wee bit of poetry. Sir Walter Scott, who, as authors go, I don't think there's an author who has been celebrated in stone quite as much as Sir Walter Scott. And anybody who's been to Edinburgh, to Princes Street, will ken exactly what I mean. The Scott Monument is probably, somebody might correct me, but I think it's the greatest monument to a writer in the world. I don't think there's a better one. And his work's not read as much now, but quite often turn up being adapted into movies. I'm thinking about things like Ivanhoe or Rob Roy. But he did a lot of work, and he was a great collector. He collected the Border Ballads, and he wrote poetry himself, things like Young Lochinvar would be Will Kent, Jock of Hazeldean. But I'm going to read this for you, and I'm going to read the whole thing because I'm here myself. I'll rattle through it, sure. I was just thinking, oh no. No, it's not as long as that. I'll make you a cup of tea once we finish. And I just like this. I've several times thought of possibly putting a section of this into an album just because I thought it was a great quote. But this is called Breathes the Raman by Sir Walter Scott. So I'm going to do the poem, and then I'm going to play the tune by Marshall, who without a doubt met the man. When the Gordons were doing in Edinburgh, they would have been mixing with the highest of society in the country. So anyway, breathes there a man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, this is my own, my native land, whose heart hath ne'er within him burned. As home his footsteps he hath turned, from wandering on a foreign strand, if such there breathe, go, mark him well. For him no minstrel raptures swell, high though his titles proud his name, boundless his wealth as wish can claim, despite those titles power and pelf, the wretch consented all in self, living shall forfeit fair renown, and doubly dying shall go down to the vile dust from whence he sprung, unwept, unhonoured, and unsung. O Caledonia, stern and wild, meet nurse for a poetic child, land of brown heath and shaggy wood, land of the mountain and the flood, land of my sires, what mortal hand can e'er untie the filial band that knits me to thy rugged strand? Still as I view each well-known scene, think what is now and what hath been, seems as to me of all bereft, sole friends why woods and streams were left, and thus I love them better still, even in extremity of ill. My Yarrow streams still let me stray, though none should guide me my feeble way. Still feel breeze down Ettrick break, although it chill my withered cheek. Still lay me my head by Teviot stone, though there, forgotten and alone, the bard may draw his parting groan. Sorry, I think I could have probably done a better job of that, but you get the idea. It's good stuff, good patriotic stuff by Sir Walter Scott. Shona's got something to say there?
Ulla says that they love Ivanhoe in Sweden. It's on every New Year's Day.
Ah, I like it as well. But it's been adapted quite a few times actually. There's a few different versions, some of them better than others, but it's a well-kept story.
Lorelei said she studied it in junior high school. Favourite piece of literature?
Good. Well, Sir Walter Scott was he's credited with inventing historical fiction, and his writing it's a wee bit dated to modern tastes, I would hate to say, but the quality of the storytelling is nae lacking in any way, regardless of the style. So
romanticised Scotland.
He did.
Victoria.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a fair belief that he was the man that started Scottish tourism, and that actually had a knock-on effect in lots of different countries. The fashion for tartan actually tied in with King George the IV, I think it was. He had a visit up to Scotland, which was stage managed by Sir Walter Scott, and it was a tartan extravaganza. That's what all you can say about it. It was tartan away, and King George got dressed up. He had kind of like a leotard thing on, he tights under his kilt, and he was head to toe in tartan. And this, they reckon, was one of the things that made tartan extremely fashionable. And it had gone from being the garb of the rebellious Highland clans to the height of fashion throughout the whole of Scotland. And to this day, I want to be thinking of Scotland, there's a few things that think, there'll be bagpipes and tartan and golf, and maybe Billy Connolly, Sean Connery, that would be the sort of thing. So there you go, Sir Walter Scott. So I'm going to play his tune. Two tunes up until yesterday I'd never heard before. So I've come across a lot of really good tunes that I'd like to maybe start playing. Trouble is I'm beginning to forget the tunes I liked. I'll go back and start beginning again. So a wee update. Jamie Bowers thinks a tyre pressure gauge. Well, that's a good guess. Ulla Koenig, a thimble. George Mitchell, clothes pegs. Hamish MacLeod, black rosin. Katinka Buxton, tea egg.
I don't know what that is.
A tea egg. A bile egg from a tea, maybe, I'm not sure. Laura Richard, a chin rest. Jamie Bowers again, a bottle opening ring or a radiator blade key. And Anne Wyatt, 2 whole nutmegs and a marble. So, no.
Hugh Addlesey thinks it's a seal for sealing envelopes.
Okay, oh that's good. I quite like the idea of that.
Like a wax seal.
Yeah, I quite fancy getting that. It maybe looks a bit pretentious, but I think it looks pretty classy if you've got a letter turns up and it's been sealed by wax. You think it must be quite important. Something bigger than a birthday card maybe, but yeah, well no, it's not that anyway. So, let's crack on. A chance to play my tune again. So fits in the box. So as I said earlier, it's a functional item which I will be able to demonstrate at the end of the show if nobody gets it right. I'm beginning to wonder if anybody will get it right. Another guess.
No, it's in a hello.
Oh, it's a hello. Bonnie in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hello, Bonnie. Nice to see you looking in. I hope everything's fine over there. So, far away now. Because I shut my book and I've lost my programme. I think I can now though. I'm going to get away from the martial music just for a second. I'm going to play a couple of pipe marches for you, just for a change. This is the Bramar Gathering and also Tugargan Gap. Now, I played them, a while back, early on when we started doing these live for the lounge concerts, but I thought it's been a while and they're good tunes. And when I was doing these myself, I just thought we'll just get a few things to put in that would pad the show out a wee bit because I'll do more playing myself. So a couple of pipe marches, the Bramar Gathering and Tug Argan Gap. And Tug Argan Gap, that relates to the Second World War, when the British were fighting the Italians in East Africa. And it comes from Somalia. And a tug is a dry riverbed in Somalia. So there you go. Right, let's have a go. I love that two tunes. They were tunes that we played for years and years with the Banchory Strathspey Reel Society. Set number 29. Now I hadn't played with the Strathspey Reel for a very long time, but I can still mind that set and I can still mind the number. It shows you how often we played some of that stuff. Some of the real favourites that the orchestra played, and that's where I really got my grounding on Scottish fiddle music. They were founded in early 30s, 1930s, to promote Scottish fiddle music, but really to promote and encourage the playing of the music of James Scott Skinner, who was born in that town in Banchory in 1843. So, I'm going to go back to William Marshall again, a set of 3 tunes. He was born in 1748, I think it was, and died in 1833. And they reckon that when he died, that was the end of what was known as the golden age of Scottish fiddle music. And that, it wasn't just because he died, but it kind of marked a period when fashions were changing, that folk weren't quite so interested in Scottish country dance, and there was other dance crazes coming in, and things like operetta and things like music hall entertainment was becoming more popular. And so Scottish country dance music kind of began to go on a slide a wee bit, up until the time of James Scott Skinner, who really kind of brought the whole thing even greater notoriety. So there you go, William Marshall. Any notifications showing up?
Just
got a
give me
few.
2 seconds.
So mind, this is it's a functional thing. Now, this might be too much of a clue. If Ian Murray is out there, it's a kind of thing he might use when he's out in these travels. Now, these are our notifications.
That's all guesses.
Gosh, this is a very keenly fought event tonight, folks. Isabel Lane, staple remover. Jane Roberts, nutcracker. Kate Taylor, pencil sharpener. Edward Stewart, nail clipper. Andrew Brandy, cork for a whiskey bottle. Alexander Thompson, a Jew's harp. Catherine Brown, a bottle opener. Anne Wyatt, an ocarina. I just want to go, hey, ocarina. It's not that though. But anyway, I get what you mean. It's a wee root a tutor thing. I think it comes to South America. Jamie Bowers, a key. Jamie's desperate here. He's got more entries than everybody else. Also, a whistle for a sheepdog. Good guess. Katinka Buxton, a key for a fiddle case. Frank Ribbons, strainer for making Tinker's tea. Paul Gray, Fitzy coming with this time. An old blade for a Swiss Army knife, the one that's used for getting girl guides out of Boy Scouts' hooves. I think you got it a bit mixed up there, Paul. I get what you mean though. And Tracy Adelsey, hair clippers. So a few interesting.
It's the most guesses we've had.
Yeah, it's created quite a buzz. I think you'll find there's a lot of folk been looking into that. Right, but nobody's right. Not one, even close. Yeah, keep guessing. So I'm quite pleased with myself tonight with this, and it's suitably obscure. Nobody's gotten it, but there you go. Right, next three tunes by Marshall are called Ballindalloch Castle, and that's a branch of the Grant family, still there to this day, and one of the founding families of what would become the Aberdeen Angus breed. They were keen cattle breeders, and there's a few of them like Alexander McCombie, who were by Offord at Tuch, and there was another boy, I can't mind his name at the minute, but certainly the Grants at Ballindalloch certainly had a fair input into the development of what's now known as the Aberdeen Angus breed, world famous cattle. So Ballindalloch Castle, there's still Aberdeen Anguses there to this day, nice wee herd. I'm going to go into Miss Wharton Duff, and then Miss Fraser of Cullen to finish. like all these tunes I never normally play. It's got me sweating out my eyeballs. Right, okay, folk are rising to the challenge. Right, Jamie Bauer says, lighter for a fire, compact light. Andrew Brandy, snake off a gate. Shirley Fuchs, a spinning lure. Grace Donaldson, nose hair clippers.
Well, you said you were going to demonstrate it. I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to see you
Well,
demonstrating that in front of everybody.
Frank Ribbons, a thimble. Ian Murray, compass, fire starter, magnifying glass. Okay. Jack Taylor, small penknife. Katinka Baxton, tape measure. Ian Murray, thermometer. Frank Ribbons, tweezers, tick remover. And Sandy White, bottle opener. So there you go. Sandy.
There's also some other ones that just come in. Andrew Brandy thinks one of Dougal's toys.
Yeah.
Jim Taylor thinks a single socket for a mechanics socket set.
Okay.
And Paul Gray thinks the bubble for the spirit level that you used to straighten the Ferguson print.
I think it's a print, it's squint. I think it's a phone, actually. That's probably for the problem.
That's excuse.
It is. It's beautifully straight. What do you want about, man? Right, I'm going to play something a wee bit different. Get a waft of these Marshall tunes. Shona,
Sandy White's asking what the badge on your lapel is.
A Bine Highland Games Committee. That's what it is, because I'm in a committee because I kind of organise the fiddle competitions. Well, I say organise. Shona does a huge amount of the work for that, and we get various folk to help us in the day. But I did get it started up, so we kind of run that, and Mark Shurahan runs, but certainly Shona plays a big part in keeping it running through the day. Sister Heather does a lot to promote it, actually. But anyway, so I'm in the committee because of that. But unfortunately, like every other games in the country, we had to cancel it. So hoping things will be alright for next year, but who knows? We just keep our fingers crossed and hope that they get things sorted soon. So behave yourselves, folks. Then I go about like a neep. Right, I'm going to play something a wee bit different. These last few things I wasn't going to play, but I thought, well, we'll just we'll do them anyway. I've played them before. This is a tango, and it came into mind because somebody tagged me in a post. It was either last night or the night before, and he was an Argentinian accordion player, and he was absolutely amazing. But playing kind of Argentinian music, sort of that tango style accordion, and it just put this tune in mind. So I hadn't played it for a while, but this is called Por una Cabeza, which is one of the best known tangos, I would hate to say, I think, that there is. And it means to win by a head in a horse race, is what it means, apparently. So I was told anyway by somebody. Right, so this is your moment. If you want to dance tonight, folks, get your partners.
I want Jim and Kate up, but I want Joe and Pat and
and Paul and Anne.
I want everybody up, do the tango in the living
Film it, in fact, film it and post it. Would love to see you trying to do the tango. That would be
in the living room.
Quite special. So anyway. There you go.
My little wiggies were doing a tango with a blanket.
A solo tango.
Joe Aitken says he can't tango on the carpet. That's just
Aye,
an
well, you had to
excuse.
watch with that slippers to start working sparks. So anyway, poor Runa Cabeza. It's turned up in a few famous films. Schindler's List, it was in that, and it was also at Fells, was it in? Aye, Paul and Anne, I thought they might do it. They've been tangoing, or certainly given the impression they've been tangoing.
They're in the kitchen.
Good on you. Best place for it. For else, a Scent of a Woman, Al Pacino. I think the last time I did it, I'd try to do an impersonation. It wasn't great, but right.
Shirley Fox says she's just dislocated her knee and flicks around John's legs.
Well, I would like to see that now. When we get it at Killarney next year, a wee tango demonstration for John and Shirley. Tango with John and Shirley, that would be great. I would love to see that. Well, hey, a word with Ian Russell. He might be able to sort out. Hey, a word with you. So anyway, we'll move on. I'll off with the tango, and I'm going to play now. I'm going to play the Hot Canary, just because it came into my head earlier, and I thought, it's entertainment, so it's a showy kind of thing. It's about a canary. Originally, it's a French tune called Le Canary, as it sounds, but it was turned into the Hot Canary by an American violinist called Joe Venuti, who did kind of virtuoso jazz interpretations of tunes. And I got it on a cassette for Bill Smith, who was the secretary at the Bankery Suspend Reel, and he said, "Hey, listen to this," and I kind of went, "Aye, okay, let's stick it in and see." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's amazing, what a player." So I had a listen and picked out the main melody, which is okay, but it's all the other twiddly bits that are a bit difficult. So I worked out my own interpretation of it Joe Venuti had done, and it's nothing like as difficult as he did. That said, it's quite difficult, folks. So anyway, the Hot Canary, it's about a canary. There you go. And on that note, that's pretty much the end of the show. I've no idea. What time is it?
Just about 5 to.
5 to. That's no bad of my aim. I have to say, we're going to be, by the time we finish, it'll be 9 o'clock. An excellent hour as far as I'm concerned. I do enjoy it, but when I'm doing it myself, of course, there's much more of me blethering at my leisure. So I'm apologising for that, because I can rattle on, but anyway, never mind. Now this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Competition has been fierce. There's a few more entries come in here at the inner end. Frank, says a chain breaker, Allen key, wooden nutcracker, or tatty peeler. I think I'm going to take in a new rule that you get one guess at a time, but no, none of them are right, Frank. Could do better. Ula, guitar plectrum, no. Jamie Bowers, fishing tackle, and weight. Kate Taylor, a rattle, no, it's not a rattle. Katinka Baxton, a torch, and Alison MacDonald, a fish hook remover. Possible reference to Ian Murray has given you the idea it could be to do with fishing. Yeah. So, it is in the box. I can hear the tension. Now, what you'll make of that is for, but some of you will. Ian Murray, Jamie Bowers, who were the closest. And we'll just say they got it right, actually, and I think that's my fault for basically saying Ian Murray would use this when he's out and about. It's for lighting fires. It's I suppose it's along the same idea as the steel and the flint and steel, creating a spark when you're in a hard pressed situation. And this is what you do. You've got this steel here, and it's like magnesium sort of stuff, I think. And you run it like this.
Can I set my carpet on fire?
It's negative set one on fire. Look at that. That's what it does.
Fireworks.
And it's the kind of thing that anybody who's out in the hills or out in the countryside, rather than having matches that blow out, that's probably quite a handy thing to have with you. They're quite easy to get hold of. So that's what it's for lighting fires. But then I take that with you when you're going out walking on a hot summer's day and you're likely to start moor fires or forest fires. So there you go. That's our fun and games finished for the night. Sean will be back next week, I'm pretty sure. She's been sitting here working like a Trojan in the background, allowing me to just spout my normal nonsense. So appreciate everybody looking in. We've had a good turnout again, even though Sean isn't here, so thanks very much. If you've enjoyed it and you want to contribute something, it's appreciated. That'll be doing it anyway, but if you do feel like it, it's PayPal. It's www.paypal.me/Paul Anderson Shona Dawn, all lowercase. So if you want to do that, that would be grand. So I'm going to finish with a couple of tunes. Is there any more last minute notifications?
No, Jamie Bowers delighted he got it right.
Well done, Jamie.
He had as much guesses, so.
Yeah, but you've got it.
He says specifically a Ferrocerium Rodent Striker. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Is it?
So
I couldn't tell you that. It's for cracking spunks.
Can he finally get a coconut fushti or not?
Well, it's a bit of a tall tale of coconuts, although I will say somebody left a bag of coconuts. It was a box of coconuts really early when I started saying this. There was a box of coconuts just abandoned at the door, and nobody claimed that they'd done it, so I reckon Fa did it. But anyway, we broke it open and discovered it was mouldy inside, so we couldn't really be sending them. But Jamie, if you're really desperate, I'll get hold of a coconut and send you send you a coconut. So if you
next time we see him.
Aye, we'll sort out one word to get an address. Yeah, hopefully.
Not posting a coconut.
I'm going to post a coconut. So thanks very much, Abdi, once again. I'm going to finish with a couple of tunes, just because they're good going tunes. We were going to play these together. Oh,
Shirley wanted a flash of my jammies.
Yeah, it's Pyjama Lady has arrived. So look, she was here all the time. She's a while back under her blanket. So let's see if it was going to play The Sailor's Wife and The Deal Among the Tailors. So thanks very much, folks. Take care. Feel like a dancer on the kitchen table. Now's your moment. Thanks very much, folks. Have a good night, have a good weekend. Look after yourselves, behave yourselves, nay fraternising. We'll see you later. All the best, folks. Good night.